Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I thought, seeing as I listen to this surah all the time, let me just be perfectly honest with you. I'll just level with you, yeah? I don't know if this is a good thing or not. I suspect it's not a good thing. But I have been so in love with this surah that I'm about to tell you. For so long now, my infatuation with the surah spans over the past 11 years that I find it difficult to read any other surah, and I find it difficult to listen to the tafsir of any other surah as well. Such is my love for this surah that you have just heard at the beginning of this stream. This surah, when my wife was expecting our son, our fifth son, I had decided before she even fell pregnant, if it's a boy, we will name him after this surah. And I said to myself, I will memorize this surah before he is born. And I memorized all of it except from one page, which I memorized after he was born. The name of this surah is Surah Yusuf. My understanding of the Arabic language is basic. I do not have advanced understanding of the Arabic language, but even with my basic understanding of the Arabic language, hearing it in Arabic is different to hearing it in English. That's the first thing I would say. But the second thing I will say is that Allah says in this surah, نَحْنُ نَقُصُّ عَلَيْكَ أَحْسَنَ الْقَصَصِ. We're about to tell you the best story that's ever been told. Can you blame me for being so infatuated with this surah? It's not even infatuation at this point, because infatuation doesn't last long. This has been an 11-year affair, an 11-year obsession with this surah, Surah Yusuf, such that it is the only surah I listen to. Sarah, I'm going to be honest with you, it's the only surah I listen to. And it's the one that I spend a lot of time listening to the tafsir of it, because it is such an incredible story. And it's a story where you can extract so many lessons for your own everyday life. Subhanallah al-Azim. And the reciter that you heard at the beginning of this stream, his name is Sheikh Khalid Jalil. In fact, let me just put it in the chat right now, because this is the exact, I can only listen to him recite this surah, no one else. And you will find, if you are an avid listener of the Quran, that different reciters have different voices for different surahs. For example, I find Sheikh Shuraim, his voice is suited for surahs that, like, there's a lot talking of harsh punishment and retribution and things like this. إذا وقعت الواقعة, Surah Maryam, the last few pages of Surah Maryam, where Allah talks about when the Christians say that Allah has taken a son and whatnot. His voice is suited for that. Different reciters, their voice is suited for different surahs. And Sheikh Khalid Jalil, and I have just put the link for his recitation of this surah in the chat right now. His voice is like a storytelling voice. It's the perfect voice, in my humble opinion, for the narration of this surah, because the way he's narrating it is like he's telling a story. And I thought, seeing as I spend so much time listening to this surah and reciting this surah, we have an ongoing joke actually with me and some of the brothers in Black Label. Shout out to Murad. And that is, I was telling them a story when we were at the last Black Label event in Dubai just a couple of weeks ago. And I told them, when I once picked up this, what do you call them? Those is it THC or allegedly not? What's the psychoactive ingredient in that? You know, those, I don't even know what you call them, bruv. Anyway, I used it for, allegedly it had none of the psychoactive ingredients. I can't remember if it's THC or the other one. I think THC is the psychoactive ingredient. It allegedly had just CBD. Turns out that it had the THC as well, and I was high as a kite, bruv. Yeah, my heart rate went to like 160, 170, 180 beats per minute, and for all intents and purposes, I thought I was dying. I thought I was dying. And what was the surah that I was reciting? Was Surah Yusuf, because you Surah Yusuf, alhamdulillah, I know like the back of my hand. And then brother Murad, he was like, it's like, yo, there's new levels to memorization, you know. You got the first level where you're just reading it from the Mus'haf, and then the second level where, you know, you can read a couple of pages. And then the third level, like you can lead the man them in salah. But the fourth level, bro, it's a new level. Is you can read the surah when you're high. It's like the next level. Astaghfirullah. Oh my days. And that was the surah I was reciting because wallah, I thought I was dying. So I thought if I'm going out, I'm going out to Surah Yusuf, mate. You know what I mean? Ah, mate, long day. Let's give some love to the chat. Let's see who's here for this impromptu live. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How we doing? Yes, Ibrahim Khalil, one of the OGs. How you doing, Akhi? How you doing, my man? Mongol. I hear that. I see what you done there, bro. I see what you did. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. How you doing, my brother? How you doing, Akhi? All right, let's continue. Aresma. Is that charisma with an A? Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Who else is here? Anas, what are you saying? Listen, guys, no flirting, all right? Let's keep it halal. Human. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How you doing, Habibi? What's going on, bro? You know what? Let's get rid of this troll here, shall we? Flip sakes. Don't need none of that. For those of you who are new here, my name is Mahdi Tijani and I help Muslim men get married. I have over 800 videos here on my YouTube channel. 800, bro. That's a lot of content. I've been doing this for over 3 years, actually. I just recently just recently had my 3-year YouTube anniversary. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. So I've been out here for a minute on these streets trying to help you man get married and enjoy the best possible marriage that you can with your missus or missuses for those of you brothers who are in polygyny for that matter. Adam Siddiq, walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We need a fan meet up, bro. You know what, bro? We're not too far from that, inshallah, Habibi. We're not too far from that, inshallah ta'ala. I will actually be meeting all of the brothers in the Mahdi Method, my private community, very soon, inshallah. For those who are coming towards the end of the first enrollment, I'll be having a private meetup with them soon. But for everyone else, it's something that I'm working on, believe me, and it's something that I do want to do and I will eventually do, but everything is about timing. So we're going to get to that, inshallah ta'ala. Muhammad says, why can't the Muslim Ummah acknowledge the zina epidemic? I don't think they're not acknowledging it, bro. I just think they've got a different understanding of how to go about managing or dealing with it. But epidemic we have. And you know what? You could argue, in fact, that we don't have a zina epidemic because over 30% of men between the ages of 18 to 30 are virgins. So it might not be even that we have a zina epidemic, but that we have a porn or masturbation epidemic, or indeed that we just have an involuntary celibacy epidemic. That's the real epidemic here. That's the purpose of this channel. For those of you OGs, you've been here for a while, you already know this. You've been rolling with me from day one. Shout out to the day ones. When I see your names in the chat, by the way, I do recognize you and I appreciate you. Wallah, I appreciate you. Those who've been riding with me since I had like 600-700 subscribers. Them days when I was switching the camera on, talking to myself. And if you are considering getting into the content creation game, just know that it's a long journey and you better enjoy what you're doing, because however long you think it's going to take, Rude Boy is going to take longer. However difficult you think it will be, Rude Boy is going to be more difficult. But if you genuinely enjoy what you are doing and you're genuinely good at it, you can't just genuinely enjoy it, you have to be genuinely good at it. It's fine. It's part of the process. You don't feel it. Shout out to Bassam for the 30 MYR super chat. I don't know what currency that is, but you didn't even ask a question. I appreciate you, my man. Thank you for the love. Man like Bilal Boss. Salaam alaikum, Mahdi. I've started learning Quran now. I'm making great progress and I've learned 10 surahs. Alhamdulillah. Hey, shout out to man like Bills. The OGs know who Bills is. If the OGs know who Bills is, wait. Let me pull up my soundboard thing, bro. Yeah, I mean, got to fully acknowledge my guy here. Hold on a second. Let's see. Where's my takbir, bruv? No. Wrong one. Sorry, bro. Sorry, wrong one. My guy. Shout out to you, Akhi Bilal. May Allah keep you steadfast, bro, upon the Sirat al-Mustaqim. May Allah keep you sincere in your intentions as to why you're doing this. Much respect, brother. Keep high, inshallah. Tamam. We've got a whole bunch of confessions to get through today, inshallah ta'ala. And I think quite a few of you have been appreciating these confessions because I'm able to tackle questions that you wouldn't necessarily ask me in real life, but that people genuinely want answered. And that's exactly what we're doing here. So without further ado, let's pull this up and put it. Oh, God. Flipping out, mate. You know what I mean? Just getting straight into it. Flip me. At least get me warmed up. You know what I mean? Get the old heart rate going. No. By the way, I haven't seen these. So I actually asked my PA to just, I sent them all over. I said, just have them all in the PowerPoint presentation for me. If I see them beforehand, my reaction is less authentic because I've already seen them. So I have no clue what's about to come up. And there might be some crazy things in here. And if they are, I'll move on. And I apologize in advance if that does happen. But let's get into it. All right. How do I leave masturbation? Get married. That would help. But let's say you're not able to get married for whatever reason. Avoid all triggers that lead you towards masturbation. You will find, for example, your Instagram feed has a whole bunch of triggers that cause you to masturbate. Your Facebook or TikTok feed, your Pinterest feed has a whole bunch of triggers that are provoking you into the act in the first place. So the cliche answer would be get married. But there are some brothers who are married and still have a porn and masturbation addiction. The real answer is you want to eliminate all triggers that are taking you towards this act in the first instance. And for those of you who don't know, chronically, masturbation can ultimately kill your willy, bruv. Yeah, it can literally kill your member. How? Because of the gorilla grip. You get used to gripping it tightly, and there is no cervix, to be more PC, on the face of this planet that is as tight as your grip, okay? And then by the time you try to get intimate with your woman, it's just not happening. Yeah, you go all floppy. Terrible, terrible day. Very embarrassing. Next question. Should you force yourself on your wife if she isn't willing to be intimate, giving you silly $2 excuses and you fear committing zina? Wow. Okay. There are so many ways I can answer this right now. Firstly and foremostly, if she's giving you $2 excuses as to why she doesn't want to be intimate with you, that's your fault, not hers. Trust and believe she wants to be intimate, just not with you, rude boy. Now, I can't tell you why, but you're definitely doing something wrong. And it's most probably connected to your lack of assertion with her. I'm not telling you to force her against her will. I'm not telling you to break the law. I am saying women respond and melt to an assertive man. My guy, You understand? You're probably paying too much attention to her emotional. Oh, I'm not feeling emotionally secure. Since when was the act of intimacy an emotionally secure decision? You are literally opening your legs, and potentially about to impregnate yourself. There's not much emotionally secure about that, so don't give me that BS. Women respond to that assertive, forward, decisive mentality of a man. And if she's continuing to give you $2 excuses, then no problem, Habibti. You know what? I think I'm going to have to get another wife. Do you know what I mean? It's as simple as that. Then the competition anxiety will really kick in. But typically, when a woman is in this situation, it's the man who has created this dynamic in the first instance. Because as much as she's giving you $2 excuses, trust and believe, she wouldn't give the next man $2 excuses. It's just you, my guy, which means you are the common denominator. You are the problem. I'm a 21-year-old male, and it's hard for me to control my urges, and it eventually leads to masturbation. Please give tips. I have already answered this in the previous question. In fact, Mr. Editor, take my answer from the first question and put it into this question here when you go chopping this up for shorts. Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Editor. I'll be 19 next week and want to tell my parents I want to get married young, but it is so awkward. I don't know how to bring it up. I've tried before, but just can't get myself to say it. Advice, please. How about this? Mom, Dad, I'd like to get married. Sometimes you guys ask me questions, yeah, but you literally answered your own question. I can't bring myself to give it. What do you want me to do? Wave my magic wand? And what do you expect your parents to do? Just like magically know? Most parents are quite disconnected and unaware when it comes to this, by the way. And they see their babies are still their babies, even though they're like 5'11" and 180 pounds. and flipping all hairy and whatever, but it's still their baby. You're gonna have to say it. Let me tell you a story. When I met my wife in college, 16 years old, I had this, or I should say wife to be for that matter, I had decided pretty much straight away that I wanted to marry this girl. SubhanAllah, Allah put it in my heart because I wasn't practicing at the time. When I look back on it, I was like, why did I want to marry this girl? Like, I wasn't practicing. Why not just go out with her? But the logic trail that went through my mind was she was hijab, she was abaya. I can't mess around with her. So for those sisters who are watching and don't cover like that, when men don't respect you when you're not covering, you can't blame them, mate. Yeah, because you're putting your assets on display. By default, when you cover up, a man has more respect to you. It's just the way it goes. It's like she respects herself, I need to respect her too. That's literally the logic trail. But when you're putting your assets on display, it's like, who the fuck cares, bro? Big man thing. You know what I mean? Just use and abuse. I'm not telling you it's right. I'm telling you that's what goes through the mind of a man. You understand what I'm saying? So I met her and I decided, you know what? I want to marry her. What did I do? I went to my father on the morning of Eid, no less. He had just woken up. I said, Baba, I've just met this girl in college and I really want to marry her. Her dad wants to meet you today in the masjid. And he looked at me and went, okay. And the rest is history. Literally, start to finish, 6 weeks later, we got married. You're going to have to pluck up the courage to tell her, them, I should say, sister, respectfully. Or brother for that matter. How to earn respect from my father, and is that possible if he is still giving me money to eat and study at university? No, it is not possible. The way you will earn respect from your father is when you finally stand on your own 2 feet. Whilst you are still under his wing, especially that you're at uni, okay, meaning you're a big guy, 18, 19, 20, and he's still providing for you like a child. And I'm not saying that, I'm not blaming you, but I am saying that you have to understand, if he's still providing for you like a child, he will still treat you like a child. Do you understand? Next question. I was talking to a sister I met on the app. In the past, she used to text me first and send me updates about her day. Let me read this again. I was talking to a sister I met on the app. In the past, she used to text me first and send me updates about her day. Now, for some reason, she no longer texts me, and I don't know if she's interested. Radio silence for a few days with no warning. I don't understand what's happening. How to proceed? My brother, she's probably talking to me. I'm playing, I'm joking, okay? Maybe I'm not. I'm just saying, bruv. She's not talking to you because she's talking to next man. She's talking to someone else that she finds more interesting. Pick up your self-respect and keep it pushing. She lost interest in you because you are waffling for too long. This is why I am so adamant on getting conversations off of marriage apps as quickly as possible and into real life. If you want more info on this, go and watch the video in the description. Hit the top link in the description. Go and watch that video right now. I am adamant on taking conversations off of the app as quickly as possible, and preferably at least onto WhatsApp, or Snapchat or something. No, I don't even like Snapchat because they talk to too many guys there as well. You want to get it off an app where you know for sure she's talking to other guys. Do you understand? You are not the only one in her DM. She might be the only one in your DM, but you're not the only one in her DM. Do you understand me, brother? She's probably talking to me. I'm sorry, bro. Mwah. Next question. Astaghfirullah. You mentioned it's preferable. Excuse me, Mr. Editor. This is way too small. Can you blow up the confessions next time, please? It's too small. You mentioned that, I mean, Mr. PA. You mentioned that it's preferable to get the nikah fast, a few weeks. But at the same time, a month or two of talking may not be enough to get to know each other for sure. Sometimes it can take a year for her to get comfortable with you. How to balance that? All right, but Mr. Amateur, just listen to the pros. When the pros talk, the amateurs listen. It only takes a woman, by the way, forget it. Just answer before I start flipping. It only takes a woman a year to get comfortable with you when she don't really like you like that. You can get a woman comfortable with you in seconds if you know how to press the right buttons, my friend. Seconds, not a year. All right, Mr. Amateur? So understand, because the pros are talking now, that if a woman is going to take like a whole last year to get comfortable with you, it's because what she's doing in that year is looking everywhere else except you and keeping you there on the back burner, like flipping, what's her name from Friends? Was it Rachel? Keeping the donut, the guy with the jaw like, what's his name? I forget his name. That guy. Yeah, one day I might. If I'm 30 and still not married, then I might. That's what she's doing to you. Okay? It should not, must not, cannot take her a year to get used to you. Because if it does, that's the writing on the wall. She just don't rate you like that, rude boy. Keep it moving, pick up your self-respect and carry on. Ross and Rachel, thank you very much. Shout out to you, like bright. Ross and Rachel, that's the one from Friends. Amen. All right. I have a lot of free time. What are some things I can do to use my time wisely? Gym excluded, of course. I hate questions like this. It's like, Mahdi, how long is a piece of string? The hell if I know. Bro, what do you want me to do? You really want me to bore the audience with generic ass answers right now? Train, work out, read Quran, take care of your health, your fitness, your iman. Come on, man, please, seriously. Don't ask me questions that are whatever. How to explain that some brothers can gather 2 wives in the same household? Is a man or a woman asking this? How do you explain that some brothers can gather 2 wives in the same household? Well, this I don't know who's asking this, but it doesn't matter. The bottom line is this: it comes down to your game, how solid your game is. And let me tell you, this is way harder than you think it is. And again, shout out to AbuAmerican, who doesn't have 2 but 3 wives living in the same house. And honestly, I don't know how he does it. I can mix my wives together from time to time, but having them in the same house full time, let me tell you something. Your game better be rocket proof. Bulletproof's not enough. Rocket proof. Because if it's not, these bitches will devour you. They will devour you. They will make a living hell out of your existence. That is the answer. All right, let's put up this super chat real quick. Shout out to Solo Gobab. Thank you for the $10 super chat, my man. Hey, Mehendi. Brother, my name is not Mehendi, okay? I am not from Peshawar or somewhere in India, Calcutta. I am not Mehendi. But anyway, we will read like this. Hey, Mehendi, I moved to the States when I was 16 and went to a Palestinian Muslim school and found out that about 40% of Muslim girls were in haram relationships. I have just lost all hope. I'd like to know, first of all, where you got this percentage from, bro. Was it based upon a few girls that you knew? Like, 40%, yallah. I knew 5 girls and 3.5 of them were in a relationship. Or 2.5. Yeah, 40%. Bismillah. Don't lose hope, bro. I mean, the bottom line is this. If you're living in the West, yes, most girls, I've said this before, will have had an interaction with a member of the opposite sex in some capacity. I mean romantic interaction as well, by the way. A romantic interaction with a member of the opposite sex in some capacity. Some of them would have gone all the way and committed zina, a minority. Some of them would have kissed, less of them. Some of them would have just held hands, less of them still. And the majority of them would have been some type of childish interaction on text backwards and forwards. I really love you, I love you, blah, blah, blah. It's just all crap. It's the way it goes, bro. When you're living in the West, it's just the way it goes. But the majority of them wouldn't have gone all the way, if you understand what I'm saying. So you don't need to concern yourself too much. All right. If she's been intimate with the guy, that's a whole nother situation for you virgin brothers out there, which the majority of you are. But if it's just like text back, whatever, bro. Most of them would have been through that. If you don't like it, I don't know, go to a village somewhere. All right. Let's keep it pushing. You know, by the way, guys, yeah, I'm gonna actually bring you guys. I'm gonna ask the chat to answer a few of these questions today. All right. Why do broke women want rich guys? And why do you guys want girls with no body count? Why do human beings want oxygen to breathe and food to eat? And why do human beings build toilets to excrete in? What are we even talking about? I feel offended to even consider answering this. The IQ level is so low, I can't bring myself to answer. Is this where we're at now? Like, is this it? Is this it, guys? Really? Oh, you know what? Just fudge it, bruv. All right, fine. I'll answer. Why do broke women want rich guys? All women want guys richer than them, even the rich ones. You don't miss that part. All women want richer guys than them, even the rich ones. All right, you heard me loud and clear. And why do guys want girls with no body count? Because men value a woman's sexual past, whilst women value a man's financial future. By and large, there are exceptions to the rule, of course. All right, but by and large, that's just the way it goes. Okay, so answer your question. Should I get a job now and then become a housewife and depend on my husband? Have that as a backup just in case it doesn't work out, divorce, and then I can provide for myself. Okay. So I once read a book. It was called Predictably Irrational. The name of the author, I forget. Daniel something or other. Or maybe Steven Pinker, but I can't remember. Predictably Irrational. And that is, the more options you present yourself or have available to you, the less likely you are to commit to any one of those options. It's called the paradox of choice. The more options you have available, the less likely you are to commit to any one. This is why, generally speaking, how I conduct my life is I don't have a plan B. Because I know if that plan B lingers in my brain, I'll be less committed to plan A. It's just the way it goes. I'll be like, yeah, but there's always plan B. Forget that. Burn the boats. Take the enemy head on, because when your life is on the line, you make sure that you survive. But when your life's not on the line, you're like, maybe I'll stay with him. But if we get divorced, who cares? I can still, go back to work and find another guy. No, I'm not telling you to not get a job or to not study or be educated. That's not what I'm telling you. What I am telling you is that you don't have to frame the question like this. Because when you frame the question like this, immediately you are entering the relationship from a position of fear, from a position of lack of commitment, not complete commitment. Why are you giving your body to this man in the first place in an intimate way, in halal, in marriage, if you are having these lingering thoughts in your mind? If you fear divorce with this guy, then just don't marry him in the first place. Now I can hear you saying, oh, but Mahdi, there are some unknowns. We don't know what the future holds. Okay, fine. That's life. There are risks. And that's the way it goes. When you marry someone, there are risks. You open yourself up to potential failure, hurt, hardship. Is the way it goes. But don't let it sit there in your mind. If you have decided you want to marry this person, decide with conviction, not 1 foot in and 1 foot out. And if you just tune in, make sure you like the video. Yeah, don't be violating me with 20 likes or something. It's 154 of you in here, and a like is for free. Like the thing. How dominant are you? What do you want me to do? Like bring out my dominance barometer? I want to marry a second time, but in my head, I'm feeling, is that fair to put my family through it? I know it's permissible and I want to, but how do I get over the negative thoughts in my head of being ungrateful of what I have already? So you're telling me the Prophet ﷺ was ungrateful for what he had already when he married again? You're telling me the companions were ungrateful for what they had already when they married again? You're telling me Ali radiallahu anhu was ungrateful for having the daughter of the Prophet ﷺ, Fatima radiallahu anha, when he married again? Are you telling me that they were ungrateful? Why are you framing the question like this? It's nothing to do with ingratitude. Even in Jannah, you will have at least 2 wives. Minimum. You will have 2. Was 1 not enough? The women of Jannah, imagine, and there's no comparison from the whole line, the women of Jannah, to the women of this earth in beauty, I'm talking about. And still, you will have a minimum of 2, up to 72 and beyond for that matter. But to answer the former question is, I don't know if I know it's permissible, and before that, in my head, I'm feeling, is it fair to put my family through it? Okay, now that's a separate question that we can give some legitimate weight to, which is when you get married again, depending on how badly your woman takes it, will dictate, and how badly you manage the situation, let's not forget, will dictate what type of repercussions it will have on the family dynamic. And I always say this to brothers who ask me about polygyny. If you're serious about considering a second wife, you must seriously accept the potential consequence of losing your first wife and family. That is the worst case scenario, and it is a possibility. If you can make peace with that, you're actually more likely to keep both families together. It's a paradox. But if you can't make peace with that, you're going to make errors left, right, and center, and in the end, you'll lose the first wife anyway. In any case, particularly virgin women who have never been married before, no matter how good of a husband you are, she doesn't have the juxtaposition. She doesn't have a standard to compare against. She doesn't really know that you're such a great guy and you're a super catch. How could she know? She hasn't experienced anyone else. Not to mention, women have a proclivity towards ingratitude and ungratefulness in the first instance, as the Prophet ﷺ has described them already. Yakfurn al-ashir, ungrateful, ingrates. It's one of the reasons why they form the majority inhabitants of the hellfire. I'm not speaking out my backside here, guys. It's just facts. It is what it is. And for you guys who've dealt with women or are married to them, you already know this. So you have to understand that that is a possible consequence. If you can't make peace with that, polygyny is not for you. Don't get married again. Just forget about it and stick with your one wife. You know, who's forcing you to get married again, bro? Just relax. Stay with your one wife. And there's no shame in that, by the way. I'm not shaming it. There's nothing wrong with it. And if you don't have it requires a certain level of, testicular fortitude to go through all of that. I'm not going to lie. It does. Yeah, because it can be a bit chaotic. And if you're not cut out for it, then just leave it alone. Not everyone has to do it. Top 3 qualities in a man to attract a potential wife. Oh man, you're really getting me to think here. Top 3 qualities. So if we're putting to the side the fundamentals like religiosity and things of this nature, I'd say, so we're putting the deen is taken care of. Yeah, I'd say the number 1 quality is, the cliche term would be rock solid frame, but let's give that a bit more detail, and that is assertiveness. Just like, I know what I want and I know I'm going to get it, whether you like it or not. That is freaking infectious, bruv. It's like crack cocaine, heroin. It is infectious and contagious, and it will break through almost any female barrier you can think of. So let's just top barrier, that top one, assertiveness. But that assertiveness has to be rooted in genuine competence. It can't just be like, oh, I'm assertive for no reason. No, bro, you need to be a man you've got some experience, some knowledge, some wisdom, some competency. Yeah. And then you're assertive. Magic. Absolute magic. Doesn't even matter what your financial situation if you've got. I'm telling you, bro. Do you know how many broke ass brothers are exceptional? You didn't ever watch that Castillo interview when he was saying he was so broken, whatever, but he always had like a harem of women on his doorstep. Bro, I'm telling you, it's infectious. Habibi Mahdi, my woman was lying to me, a white lie, she deems, and her reason why she lied because she didn't want me to worry about her safety in that particular event. The thing is, I was digging info about the truth, and so with the truth that I had, I tested her by asking her questions. Part 1, let's see if there's a part 2. Part 2, yeah. By asking her questions about that event to see if she would revise her earlier statements to the truth and make me understand by explaining to me why she lied. Why are we talking in riddles, bro? You're boring me. And the worst thing was, instead of telling me the truth, she said, Wallahi, to support her lies. So I left her, and she knew why, because I told her, and she kept. Let's see what else the brother's saying. And she kept trying to find ways to come back to me. And finally, I accepted her back because my mother, my ummi, talked me out of it. So we came back together, and she understands my boundaries now. What is your opinion about me accepting her back and this overall situation? Well, I don't know. You haven't told us the situation, bro. So I can't give you an answer. Did she sleep with next guy? Then you're a donut. Was she genuinely trying to protect you from some harm because it wasn't a big deal or whatever? Then it's a different situation. I don't know. Context, bro. Excuse me. How do I satisfy my woman in bed? And you know what? Yeah. What's that? Here we go. And again. Backhand. Forehand. Overhand. Every hand. Flipping. I hate these type of questions. I'll answer it anyway. Okay. The general attitude, gentlemen, when you are approaching your woman for the purpose of intimacy is as follows. And that is, I am going to satisfy my urges, needs, desires in the most carnal ways that I desire. Me. All about me. And you will ravish her in that regard and in that way. And through that, her pleasure will be derived from your pleasure. Now, I am not saying that you won't have to pay particular or specific attention to how she climaxes, and every woman climaxes in a slightly different way, sometimes in a very different way. And you'll have to learn that about her body as time passes. However, generally, the overall general theme is, who gives a flying fudge? That's the general attitude. It's about me. I'm coming to eat you. I'm coming to devour you. And women love that. They love that. So change the frame. How do I satisfy my woman? Now, how do you satisfy yourself? And I'm not talking about being the minute man here, yeah? Bam, 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 and then that's it. You've shot your load in 30 seconds. That's not what I'm talking about. But what I'm saying is her pleasure is derived from your pleasure. Do you understand? Her pleasure is derived from your disconnection to what makes her happy or not happy. No, you're just there. Just do you understand? I hope you do. I hope you guys understand. Yeah, you guys understand me. You've been watching me for a minute. You should know. Okay, let's continue. Do women prioritize satisfying their partner in bed before themselves? Well, look, let's just be frank here, guys. Okay, most men, no. When a man has intimacy, he always climaxes. Yeah. When a woman has intimacy, she doesn't always climax. You could make an argument when a woman has intimacy, she usually doesn't climax. You could actually make that argument, meaning she doesn't have an orgasm. But a man does every single time. Each time he's, done his thing, and that's it. So to answer the question, do women prioritize satisfying their partner in bed before themselves? I don't think she's prioritizing it per se. It's more of an inevitability. It's just the way it goes. Are you doing any podcasts anytime soon? I have a few coming out on the Ali Dawah. What's it called? Bitter Truth. There's a few of them coming out soon, inshallah ta'ala. And by the way, if you guys have anyone that you want me to collaborate with, then if you're watching this back on repeat, let me know in the comments, inshallah ta'ala. And in fact, send this stream to whoever you want me to collaborate with, and then I'll have a discussion with my team to see if we're a good fit for each other, inshallah. How do I keep my wife hooked? Oh, okay, I really want to teach you guys. I want you to rewire your brain, okay? The moment you start looking at the discussion like this, and if you haven't watched that video in the description, go and watch it right now for those of you who are struggling with questions like this. The moment you approach a discussion of how to keep women interested in me and whatnot like this, you've already lost. Because now you're going to start faking and feigning and pretending to be something that you're not. This is the frame. I have my mission, firstly and foremostly. My mission is my priority. Secondly, I want a woman to join me on that mission. And when I'm not engaged in my mission and I have free time, I will enjoy time with her. Whether she likes it or doesn't like it, it doesn't matter, because my mission is my priority. And when I'm with her, we're going to do things that I enjoy. And by extension, she will enjoy by default. She'll just go along with your flow. If you're in your masculine, by default, you will be attracting a woman who's in her feminine, and she will want to go with your flow anyway. Now, hooked is not a good word, because hooked implies addiction, and you don't want, we should not be addicted to anything in this life except the addiction of the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you want to call it that. It's not even a good word. So nobody should be addicted to anything worldly in the first instance. It's not a good thing. Name one addiction that had a positive outcome. None. It's not a good thing. But how do I keep my woman interested in me, emotionally engaged, loves, adores me, and whatnot? You prioritize your mission. So you fear Allah firstly and foremostly, and all of those basic fundamental things. I don't feel the need to repeat them over and over. And then after that, you prioritize your mission, and then you take care of your family to the best of your ability. You're upright, you're reliable, you're steadfast, you're moving forward. She's someone who she can genuinely look up to. That's how you keep her emotionally engaged. For those of you who ask me, by the way, where do I get my rings from? Shout out to Foreign Circles. I'll actually put the link. The link is actually in the description. You don't even need to see the chat. I get my rings from Foreign Circles. Shout out to them. Jazakumullahu khair. You can check their website out in the description. You can also type Foreign Circles on Instagram, DM them. They usually have a discount code with my name on it. I don't know what it is right now. DM them, inshallah ta'ala, and they'll sort you out. They'll hook you up whole bunch of my guys have these rings as well, actually. A nice little touch, you know what I mean? Alhamdulillah. How to know if my wife like it hard or not? I'll answer the question again. Who cares? Who cares, brother? Who cares? You will make her like it. Do you understand? You will mold her to like it. And again, I presume that I'm talking to an audience of men who have never been married before, for the most part, which you are. And by extension, you will be marrying women who have never been married before. You will mold her to like it how you like it. Who cares? Who cares? The things you say are so out of pocket. Remember, guys, I haven't read these, so I don't know what's coming, okay? The things you say are so out of pocket and unnecessary. And honestly, wallahi, I am so intrigued to know how you came about with these concerning ideologies. Polygamy, sexually polygyny, is not a must to complete your religion. It's a choice that comes with great responsibilities. And 90% of these men can't do it. I would agree with you. Polygyny is not a must. And it is a choice that does come with great responsibilities. I'm glad we agree and are on the same page. Look at that. One of my haters actually agrees with me. Phenomenal. Signs of a husband not interested in his wife anymore. Okay, that's an interesting question. Normally it's the other way around. He won't sleep with you as much, or he may sleep with you just because he has physical urges that he needs to relieve, but he doesn't want to spend any recreational time with you. This is one of the greatest indicators. When a man just does not like his wife, let me just fix this. It's better. When he's does not enjoy her company, and I can viscerally relate to this many moons ago, he just won't spend recreational time with her, or he finds it a chore spending recreational time with her that is not connected to intimacy. That's an indication that he doesn't like you, and you should ask yourself, or he's not into you. You should ask yourself, why? How has this happened? Ask yourself and be brutally honest. How did we get here? Do you have a hand in this? Are you naggy, annoying, claustrophobic, like suffocating him? Because there's a reason, and trust and believe, with another woman, he will be spending that time with. So why is he not with you? Why does he not want to spend that additional time with you? That's what you really want to ask yourself. I've slid into my wife's single friend's DMs and talked to her pretty regularly for a few weeks. Wow, okay. How to pivot to asking her to be number two? When will I know that she likes me enough to make the leap? Big man, you like to play the game on hard mode, don't you? So unless your wife is already down with this type of behavior, if she is down, I would say ask your wife. This is what I do. Like if I want to marry one of my wife's friends, I just say, yo, you know your mate? Go and ask her, see if she's about it. Because it's literally the easiest sell. A woman selling a guy is far easier than a man trying to sell himself to a woman. Do you understand that? It's much easier when it comes from the wife, because then the new woman feels like, oh, okay, well, the wife's on board, so I'm not going to be a home wrecker. And if she's happy with it, then fantastic. So easy. But most men are not in that privileged situation, in which case I'll say to you, bruv, stop wasting time. You want to get to the point real quick and understand that you're opening yourself up to a whole bunch of problems, especially if your wife's not on board. Is her best friend? Did you say best friend? No, it's her friend. It's not going to be her friend anymore. They ain't going to be mates. It's going to be her enemy. You just need to understand that. So stop wasting time and just ask her. And you sliding into her DM and just chit-chatting about what she already knows you want to smash. She already knows, so why are you wasting time? Right now, she thinks you're a puddu. She thinks you're a joker. She thinks you're a coward because you haven't you haven't asked her yet, while she knows that the only reason you're talking to her is because you want to marry her. Don't be a puddu. Chat, what are you saying? Do you agree or disagree? Man interviewed his ex-girlfriend. Simple answer is no, forget that. Most of these comments are from mad feminist Muslim women. I'm telling you. Puddu fight behavior. You're damn right. All right, let's continue. I want to start looking for a wife from back home. Of course, my mother will look for the one, but I don't know. Should I marry one from a country I didn't grow up in, or can I find a good wife in the West? I live in the West since 5 years as a student, but I also grew up overseas in another country. There's a few questions here. Number one, yes, there are plenty of good Muslim women that you can find in the West. Look, I've explained this on many videos on Instagram, and that is the modern Muslim woman in the West has had her software hijacked. The hardware is still the same. Fundamentally, she responds to the same things, but the software has been poisoned with a virus. Your job is to know how to delete the old software and install the new software. That's what that video in the description that I have is about. Go and watch it right now. Top link in the description. You need to know how to delete that malware, is what techie guys would call it, and install the positive software that you want. So yes, you can find a good woman in the West. However, if you were raised back home, most probably it would be a better fit for you to marry a girl from back home too. It makes sense. You were raised there, you kind of understand each other. You can be Pakistani, a Pakistani man, and you want to marry a Pakistani woman, for example. But the Pakistani man was raised in Britain, born and bred, and the Pakistani woman was raised in Pakistan, born and bred. Can they pull it off? Yes, absolutely, they can. But the likelihood of them pulling it off is compromised by virtue of the fact that they were raised in different cultures. You might both be Pakistani, but one of you is westernized Pakistani and the other one is Pakistani. If you're living in the West, born and raised, whether you like it or not, you have been westernized to a point. We are all westernized. And getting on with our own blood from back home, it's not the same. Can it work? Yeah, I've seen it work. But can it go wrong? Yeah, I've seen it go wrong a lot. And the most common complaint I've heard is we just don't get each other. You know what that just don't get each other is? It's the cultural clash. That's it. It's the cultural clash. And I'm talking about the culture of being raised in the West versus the culture of being raised in the East in this instance. Any help on how to do nikah in the UK without any passport or form of ID? Please, brother, home office haven't given me ID case. But what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Who said you need a passport or ID to do a nikah? What you need is an internet connection. 3G will do, bruv. 3G is more than enough. 4G is like overkill. You don't need 4G. WhatsApp group call or a Zoom call. You have the wali, you have the sister, you have the brother, you have the imam, and you have the two witnesses. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your mother's brother. You are married 3.5 minutes later. Any further questions? Female in my early 20s. I'm in shape, but my nose is a bit deviated, which makes me so insecure. Will it be a problem to get married? No. It's only you who notices it. We don't notice it for the most part. Unless you've got a big honker, like that. Very unlikely, bruv. Very unlikely you've got one of those, just like a little thing, and you're just so self-conscious about it. I've told this story before when I was younger. Can you see this? You can. No, not really. You can't. This bump here on my head, I can't tell you how insecure I was about that. Flip me. I was so insecure about this that I would wear do-rags and bandanas and flat peaks just to cover it. It took me ages to get confident of coming out like this. In fact, I remember my initial hairstyle, if you see my marriage pics, was covering, I had like a fringe and it would cover it. You guys barely even notice it. And now I barely even notice it. Your insecurities are always inflamed in your own eyes, especially when you are younger. It's a minor thing. Please answer. From a male point of view, do men care about stretch marks on the stomach, back? No, not really. Like, again, come on, waste my time. No. Brother, do men value internal traits over looks? So long as you get past the eyeball test, yes, no problem. But you can't be out here looking like Gollum. You can't be looking out here looking like the fat vampire. Do you know who the fat vampire is? Let me pull this up. All right, if you look like this, okay, I don't care how good your internal traits are. Big man thing, you can't be looking like this. Share screen. Okay. You can't be looking like this. Who remembers this? Only the old guys remember this. I'm showing my age now. You can't be looking like the fat vampire from Blade. If you look like the fat vampire from Blade, I'm sorry, it doesn't matter how great your internal traits are. It's a problem. Okay? But if you're not looking like the fat vampire from Blade, you're probably going to be okay. Don't worry. Ibrahim said, if she looks like this, inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Amen, brother. Amen. Female, 21. Brother, is it okay if I'm not earning and have nothing of my own? My close friend said to me that my husband might degrade me or look down on me for not having / making a career. Is this true from your perspective? Listen, unless my guy's got a vagina, then absolutely not. Does that answer your question? Any decent, respectable guy, which is most men, by the way, don't think it's a minority of men who are decent, respectable guys. No, most men are most men. Most men are pretty decent, respectable guys. Will not have this as a prerequisite or a precondition. The only type of guys who will have this as a prerequisite or precondition are guys raised in Sweden. Shout out to Swedish man, them. Sweden is a mad place, bro. Like, they took egalitarianism to the next level. The next level. So long as he's not raised in Sweden, you'll be fine. No, I'm not throwing no shade to my Swedish brothers. I know I have a small Swedish audience as well. But you guys know what I'm talking about. You were raised there. And it's mad out there. But if you're a practicing Muslim watching me, it probably doesn't apply to you either. So no, sister, this is not an issue at all. Shout out to Abu Adam for the €11 super chat. Assalamu alaikum, my brother Mahdi, long-time supporter. Jazakallahu khairan for the content. Brother, I mailed you, but no response. SubhanAllah, I will mail a third time. Please respond. Barakallahu feek. I'll ask my team to check that out, inshallah. I don't look at my emails for the most part, so I will ask my team to handle that, inshallah. Where are you from, bro? First of all, my name is spelled with an A. Second of all, it doesn't sound like you're somewhere from Europe. Send me euros. Shukran akhi. Jazakallahu khair. Okay. Are you thinking of making hijrah to the UAE? It's a bit of a personal question. What's it got to do with you, bruv? What's it got to do with you, big man? Random question. How do you feel with so many women coming your way? Does it become a fitna sometimes? That's a good question. How do I feel? Honestly, I don't feel any different. Oh, the only thing I will tell you is this, is that polygyny does not dampen your desire for women. It only inflames it. I've said this before. The more women you have, the more women you want. It's a paradox. If you have just one wife, your desire is probably more tempered than if you have multiple wives. It's just the way it goes. And there's one thing that I am scared of, genuinely scared of, is like maxing out, because the thought of not being able to consider another woman does scare me. That scares me. So you know when you got like a full bench and there's no more room for substitutes, that scares me. The possibility of not, like, it becomes haram for you to look unless you get rid of one. That's the only thing that scares me. But having like a lot of, no, not really, to be honest with you. Alhamdulillah. It's not a thing for me. Female, 22. Brother, you educate women as well. I took your advice from your videos. Jazakallah khair for that. I can see my father is happy with me. Alhamdulillah. May Allah reward you for your work. Alhamdulillah. Any good you have experienced from me is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Jazakallah khairan. I appreciate it. I currently talk with my current prospect daily and concerned I've given away too much info. How do I pull back covertly to reinstate mystery and have her seek me, as she's shy and doesn't say much, but has said she's interested? Yeah, bro, you're effing up. I'm not gonna lie to you, bruv. How do you do it? You see your fingers, yeah? Get your fingers away from your phone. Stop texting. Stop messaging. Pull back. How do you pull back? You just pull back. Literally, you guys ask me questions that you already know the answers to. What you're really asking me is, how do I manage the emotional turmoil of not knowing whether she still likes me or not because we're not talking to each other? That's what you really want to ask. Who cares? Who cares, bruv? The outcome is already decided. It's in Allah's hands. If you two are genuinely serious about getting married, you shouldn't even be talking until you get married anyway. What are we talking about? Stop talking. You're killing the mystery and sabotaging the chances of you guys getting married in the first place. Stop it. Do you understand? I always feel like I'm giving more into the conversations emotionally. How do I turn the tables? She's interested, but still reserved. I want to feel secure. Sounds why? Not gonna lie. What's why? Sounds gay, bruv. Yeah, the reason why you're feeling like this is because you are more into her than she is into you. And the way you reverse that dynamic is by doing to her what she is doing to you, which is just pull out. It's so simple. Wallah, it's so simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. Pull away. Detachment from the outcome. I talk about this all the time online. I've mentioned it quite a few times in my recent videos on YouTube. Pull away and be detached from the outcome. Your job is to do your bit. That's it. But the more emotionally invested you become in the idea of marrying her, I had a video on my Instagram just yesterday about this, the more difficult it will be for you to accept a negative outcome, and the more clingy you will get with her, and the more likely a negative outcome is to ensue. Do you see how this all is connected together? It's all connected together in one weird way. This is just the way it goes, bruv. Detachment from the outcome. Pull away. Reduce the amount of contact. And if she goes, she goes. Who cares? I mean, she wasn't that into you in the first place, and you were keeping the relationship hanging by a thread because you were so sticky and needy. Keep it pushing. You don't want to sell your self-respect for the sake of a woman. It's not worth it. How long until I mentally and physically so he's talking about his beingness. How long until I mentally and physically recover from years of porn abuse? Keep me in your du'as. I don't know. That's the honest answer. But I do have a reel on my Instagram connected to porn rehabilitation. If you guys want to watch that, hit the link in the description. Look at the socials. You'll see my link to my Instagram there, and just look for that highlight reel. Inshallah, there's a bunch of value there. But I will say this, okay, not to be nihilistic, but to put those of you who are consuming porn or considering to consume porn or who have just started consuming porn, to put you off of it. And that is, when I was in college, my anatomy and physiology teacher, Gareth, I still remember his name. He was an avid cyclist, like not professional, but really high level amateur, competitive and everything. Had all the expensive £5,000 bikes and all of that, the fancy gear and whatnot, the full 9 yards. And he told us that prior to him getting into cycling, he was a heavy smoker for 20 years. And that he had subsequently quit smoking like 7 years before that, many years ago, but that there was a portion of his lungs that had deceased, died. They were forever dead. And that was from the smoking. And although his lung health was obviously much better now that he was cycling, there was irreversible damage done to a portion of his lungs through exposure to the smoking for so many years. The same happens to your brain. The longer you consume this porn, the more irreversible damage you are doing. If that's not motivation enough to get off of it, like, I don't know what else to tell you. Don't think that what you're doing is just like, oh, I'm just watching it and it's haram and sins. Yeah, it is haram and sins, but there's other issues to consider as well, such as your long-term physical health. You may well kill a portion of your brain that will forever be dead with regards to your ability to be aroused and subsequently get hard and whatnot. You don't want those struggles, bro. It's just not worth it. Having second thoughts on getting married due to my own parents' terrible marriage. Any advice? Jazakallahu khair. Yes. Your parents are not the standard of marriage. And defining yourself by your parents' experience is stupidity. Like, defining your future by your parents' past is allowing your parents' past to dictate your future. How many children are trying to get away from their parents? I don't want my parents what to do. Yeah, but you're actually enabling them in a very weird way to dictate your future by modeling the opposite based upon what you were exposed to from them. Your parents are not the model of marriage. They are not the model. They are a model, but they are not the model. And the opposite of extreme is still extreme. Do you understand that? The opposite of extreme here is still extreme. Here, you want to be somewhere in the middle. A bad marriage, no good, extreme. Not get married at all, no good, extreme. Comprende? I'm an average Abdullah, but I have started MMA and I've been doing Arabic now for a while, but financially I'm not that driven, even though I've moved out and support myself. How do you build the hunger for more, or is this innate? Shall I just pack on responsibilities like marriage, which I'm seeking? Even though I've moved out. I don't know how to answer that for you, bro. That has to come from inside you. Like, One thing I will say is this, is that social media, TV, games, all of these pacifiers, they kill your hunger for progress. It dulls your senses. It dulls the pain. You know how like most people, they only go to the dentist when the tooth pain gets really bad, but you can tolerate like a little bit of pain. If it's just dull, then it's okay. I'll just manage it. That's what's going on with you right now. Your pain is dull. That's why you're not reacting. I will tell you, amp up the volume of your pain, make it intense, make it severe. How do you do that? How do you make the pain in your tooth so severe that you're forced to go to the dentist? You don't have a choice. Get rid of the pacifiers, get rid of the games, get rid of the watching TV, get rid of those pacifiers, because they are distractions that are dulling your pain, dulling your senses. You want to feel that pain, feel it. The only way you can feel it is by getting rid of the drug-like pacifiers that are dulling and killing your pain. My sister is ready for marriage. Any quick tips on finding suitable men? I tend to overthink this and be too harsh with the criteria, as she's working a good job and she has been good for her whole life. Who cares about her job? But you should know better than to say this if you're following Mahdi Tijani on Instagram. Who cares about her job? Like that's not factored into the equation of what makes her a good wife. What are we talking about? Now, you're naturally protective of your sister. That's fine. I would say to you, bro, you should offer your sister to one of your friends. And if you can't offer your sister to one of your friends, why are they your friends? Did that penetrate? Did that hit? If you can't offer your sister to one of your friends, why are they your friends? Start there. I am confused. I was told men like women who are mysterious and don't give them too much attention, so they are the ones chasing. Is this true? Do men want attention or not? Every man is different, okay? There are some men who are addicted to the chase. There are some men, they've literally told, even reading the biography of Elon Musk, bro, it's a bit tragic, but Elon Musk is addicted to chaotic relationships. Women who are peaceful, he gets put off. That's Elon Musk, richest man in the world. You got to deal with what you deal with. Me personally, I have an ick towards chaotic women. I thrive in peaceful women who are peaceful, and women who are chaotic, I cut them like a cancer. But every man is different. Some men get bored of peaceful women, and unfortunately, as much as I hate to say it, and it kills me to say it, if you're dealing with a man like that, react accordingly. The bin I want to marry got fat after I rejected her the first time. Now I want her, but she needs to lose 15 kilos. Don't know how to go around telling her that. Wow, that's weird. Just tell her, bruv. Just tell her. If she doesn't like it, tough cheddars. Doesn't sound like you were much into her in the first place. Mahdi, my son has been caught watching gay porn. Oh my God. Bloody Nora. Mahdi, my son has been caught watching gay porn in the school toilets. I'm afraid he's gay. What should I do? Can you speak to him? No, thank you. I ain't trying to catch a case out here dealing with minors, first of all. Second of all, boy, how did that happen? Exactly, bruv. Look, I don't know how my guy got into gay porn, but I do know that regular porn can make a man gay. Because when you're watching porn, regular heterosexual porn, you're watching the woman get drilled by a guy. Meaning your arousal is not just connected to the woman, but it's inevitably going to be connected to the guy doing the woman. And that's why heterosexual porn is the gateway, the bridge to gay porn. But this one is way above my pay grade, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. All I can say is, may Allah help you, sister, because that's a mad one. May Allah save us. Alhamdulillah. Assalamu alaikum, Mahdi. I wanted to ask, what are your views regarding Ali Dawah's setup for his Bitter Truth podcast? Some people are saying it is free mixing, whilst others are saying it is not. Listen, he's already sought Shari'i counsel, religious counsel on this, and he has been given the green light. All right, and I have participated in these discussions myself. So, from a Shari'i perspective, from the individuals he has sought religious advice from, they have said this is no problem. But it comes with strict rules, like they can't come with their faces caked with makeup, or makeup at all for that matter. He's really strict on the makeup thing. They have to wear hijab, even if they don't wear hijab in real life. Like, there are rules. So don't think that he's just pulling this out of his backside. He sought religious counsel first. My wife still wears the hijab or the niqab in the house and whilst going to sleep. Huh? Why is your wife wearing niqab when she goes to sleep? But when I tell her to wear shorter clothes or something sexy around the house, she says she doesn't feel comfortable wearing that. What should I do? I don't know, bruv. Do your brothers live in? I need more context. Are your brothers in the house? Maybe she feels uncomfortable. Maybe there's non-mahram men there. I don't know why she's going to sleep with it, but maybe she sleeps in a room where the non-mahrams walk in. I don't know, bruv. Give me context. The questioned is the prisoner of the questioner. I'm your prisoner, and I can only answer your question according to how much context and detail you provide me with. Should I get married to this girl? I want to make clear that we are in a haram relationship. She's a non-Muslim, but says she'll revert to Islam if that's the case. Is it worth it to get married to her? And if yes, how do I convince my parents? Or maybe just politely say no and move on. Maybe just politely say no and move on, big man. Yeah, that's a lot of baggage. That's a lot of trouble. Now, if you are if you're finding it impossible to avoid the haram, then you have no choice. You have to do the nikah, because the overarching concern of the religion is to protect the private parts, not whether she'll be compatible for you or not. Sorry, you put your foot in the khara. Now you have to deal with it. Deal with it. But if you're able to dead the relationship and move on, that's to move on, bro. How you get him is how you lose him, rude boy. Love the channel, Akhi. Day one, shout out to you. Day one here. It's the Gambian brother with the Algerian fiance. Inshallah, may Allah bless you and your family. Shout out to you, Akhi. Jazakallah khair. Appreciate you, Akhi. Is the janitor still accessible on the original website link, or is the Mahdi method the only community accessible to us? The Mahdi method is where I spend the majority of my time, guys. Okay. Sister, I'm from an online perspective. Sister, I'm talking to for marriage, doesn't wear hijab, but is very religious and totally in love with me. She bought me a laptop with her last dime and treats me like a king. Overall, it's very, very agreeable and in my frame. We'll discuss the hijab with her, inshallah. She will wear it. Bro, sounds like you got to keep her there, mate. She's very much into you. What are you waiting for? Pull the trigger. What advice do you have for a brother that keeps getting rejected due to looks? It seems to me that sisters have become too picky with looks due to what they see on social media. What do you think? Garbage. You know, I'm going to have an interview with a brother one day who, and when I have this interview with his brother, you will understand. This brother is a bint magnet. And even though I've never seen him with bints, I know he's a bint magnet. He's married as well. But I know he's a bint magnet because he's just got that energy. The brother's not even 5 foot. He's like 4'10" or something. And he's just got that it. It is not your looks, I can guarantee you. Do looks help? Of course. But there are plenty of extremely good-looking guys who give women the ick. Seduction is not a physical thing. Seduction is a psychological thing. Do you understand? Now, if you have the psychological thing on lock, then sure, your looks will help. I'm not disputing that. But the psychological games, far more powerful than any looks that you can adorn yourself with. Believe me, what your problem is not a physical thing, it's a psychological thing, which anyone can work on. You will be pleased to know. If my parents agree, how do I convince her parents to get married, even though we're from different cultures? You do your best. And if they refuse based upon frivolous reasons, you escalate the matter to the local sheikh, who, if he deems it appropriate, will act as the girl's wali and get you married anyway. Answer your question? Yeah, Abdullah, 4'10", bro. 4'10". Now I'm gonna have an interview with him. Don't worry. I promised my wife before marriage that I'll not do polygamy, but now I want it. Hey, you put your foot in the khara, didn't you? Ihmar. I promised my wife before marriage that I won't do polygamy, but now I want it. All right, well, you might lose the wife. All right, you might lose the wife. How to make some girl I like love me. but she hates me as of now. I want to marry her. Oh, bro, you know what you sound like? You sound like Helga from Hey Arnold, just that the roles are reversed. You're Helga and she's Arnold. I'm showing my age now, aren't I? Bro, just have some, pick up your self-respect from the floor. It's dragging in the khara. Pick it up and move on. All right? Stop disrespecting your whole khandan. The whole family tree has been disrespected because of your lack of respect for yourself. Why do men keep pushing sexual boundaries? Do they? I think the problem is quite the opposite. Most men don't. It depends what we're talking about here. You're talking about like an androgynous style of dress? I don't know what she's talking about. Assalamu alaikum. There is a sister I know, she's interested. She has no red flags whatsoever. The only thing is that I'm 4 years younger than her. I'm 18, she's 22. I have everything sorted out. Deen, money, shredded, 6'2", looks, alhamdulillah, mashallah, Allahumma barak. Looking to get your thoughts. What do you want me to tell you, bro? What thoughts do you need from me? Yani, khalas, start overthinking. If you like her, she likes you. Okay, fine. There might be an age problem there, but 18 and 22 is not the same as 38 and 42 or 28 and 32. At that age, 18 and 22, there will be a maturity difference, but bro, if you really like her, then whatever, just marry her. It's not that deep. Man knows Urdu words. Listen, I'm a man of many talents. Amen. Why are you saying that women would compare men they slept with? I'm always asking myself what kind of women you've met in your life. That's not true. Some do, but not all of them. There is a secret that you can apply, and she will never think of any guy again. Yeah, F the out of her. That's the secret, guys. There you go. I spilled the beans. If you don't, then she will be thinking about the previous guy. Any further questions? Mr. Editor, make sure you put that one up, yeah? We need that one. I acted slightly needy and she pulled away and started taking very long to reply. So I ignored the last message. Was ignoring the right thing to win my power back and getting my respect back? Will she be back? The ignoring was the right thing, but I don't know, bro, to be honest with you. I don't know how much you effed it up. It's hard to tell. Detachment from the outcome. Who cares? Who cares, brother? Who cares? And that's why you, man, you mess it up. You spend too much time talking. You sabotage. She likes you. You like her. Get married and stop talking in the interim. But no, you had to ruin it with the backwards and forwards. And now you're having these petty arguments. And now there's another guy who's popped up who's a bit more mysterious. And maybe I'll explore that discussion over there. You messed it up. Go and watch the video in the description. Top link in the description. That one's for you, my guy. I'm a sister in my mid-20s and losing hope in getting married. Masculine men don't exist anymore. I don't even know what being in my feminine energy feels like because I feel more confident and secure than basically every man I've met. It's what leads me to reject almost every inquiry and proposal. Oh, sister, I'm sorry. There are no masculine men left on this planet. You know, I don't know what to tell you, sister. Just, marry yourself. There are plenty of masculine men. You know how much I cringe when I masculine men. You know, sometimes I was saying this to the man one time. I was like, yo, man, imagine, yeah, that the Sahabi, the companions, before they're about to go on an expedition, like a war, they're like, right, guys, let's sit down and have a talk about masculinity. Can you imagine? Ooh, what are we even talking about? But I will say to you, sister, if you are presenting a very confident and masculine front, you will by default, what's the word I'm looking for? What's the opposite of attract? Repel. You will repel masculine men. The very type of man that you want doesn't want you. It's not that he doesn't exist. It's that he doesn't want to marry himself. In you, he sees himself. If I see a woman who's all confident and brash and out there, but I want nothing to do with her. I don't want a woman who's insecure. I want a woman who's quietly confident. Emphasis on the quiet. Please shut your mouth, Habibti. Thank you very much. It's not that they don't exist. It's that you're repelling them. I'm a hermaphroditic male. It's medically confirmed. I have wider waist, though males have small waist. I'm 80% male. I hide this from everyone. Only I and my parents know this truth about me, but I try my best to be a real man. And alhamdulillah, I don't have any traits of gay. Can I get married? This is out of my wheelhouse, honestly, bro. I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure. I don't know. I can't answer you because I know nothing about this. May Allah make it easier for you. Please ask someone who has the requisite knowledge. Okay, we've done that. She's wifey material, submissive, obedient, anything you'd wish for, but she's not attractive. Should I? Baseline attraction is crucial, gentlemen. If you're not at least attracted to her on a baseline level, keep it moving, keep it pushing. Can her qualities as a potential life partner, including femininity and submissiveness, compensate for any perceived lack of physical attraction? If you are not attracted to her at all, keep it pushing. I'm not saying that she has to be some 8, 9, 10 out of 10. I'm just saying you must be attracted to her in some meaningful way. You must be able to see her in that way. And if you can't, keep it moving. It's not fair on her. It's not fair on her that you're going to take her virginity and then you don't even like her afterwards. Just keep it moving. Someone else will find her attractive. Keep it pushing, bruv. How important is her being a wife material with attributes like femininity and submissiveness? Okay, we've just done this. Someone asked the question, same question 3 times. She's really into me. Bro, are you for real? How many times are you going to ask the same question? In your evaluation... You can't make this up, bro. Yeah, some guy was like trolling this. All right, that's it. That khalasu darahamkum, like we'd say in Algeria. Your money's run out. You need to put more money in the machine. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And in fact, you know what? Before I end that, I'm going to put another video here. If you like this Confessionns video, I'll put another video for those of you watching it on repeat. You will be able to watch that there. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.